What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package and infrastructure update, and daily news report for Wednesday, July 21st. Now, we have a lot of stuff we need to go over, but the first thing I want to address is a viral social media post that was faking that Congress passed a $2,500 stimulus check. Now, I started getting people to question me in the comments yesterday, saying that no, there is a stimulus check. It already passed. They already saw it on social media. Well, here's what you need to understand. You cannot believe everything you read on social media, even here on this channel. Okay, even though I'm reporting the facts, I'm going through media outlets, I'm trying to give you updates. If there's something that seems a little odd to you, question it. Just question it. And this is what a lot of people did. They questioned this $2,500 new stimulus check. Well, that was fake. It was just a fake post somebody put out there. It went viral. There's no $2,500 stimulus check. That's not even in discussions. Lawmakers are asking for a $2,000 stimulus check. And that right there is really up for debate. Some are saying this will not happen. Many experts don't anticipate even seeing a stimulus check added until the very last minute of the negotiations. But that is for the $3.5 trillion infrastructure package, not the 1.2. And that's what we're working on now. But most expect there will be more direct payments. Okay, more will happen. But stimulus has somewhat of a negative tone at this point because the economy is rebounding. Well, in certain places. So we will see what happens, but as we get more information on the stimulus checks, I promise I will keep you up to date on that. Just understand, if you see a social media post, $2,500 stimulus checks were passed, that is false, okay? That is fake. Now, here's what's happening today. Today, and this is something that has been really fought over the past few days, is today Democratic leader, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he is going to have a procedural vote in order to move the bipartisan bill forward. The problem there is this bill is not yet even finalized. Nobody has seen the legislative text. Even the negotiators have not seen the text because it's not finished. So when we are seeing that there's a vote today, and I saw this all over the news this morning, is a vote today, vote happening today. That's great. The problem is what's going to happen today is Republicans are just going to block the vote. They're going to filibuster this bill, which is going to look bad, according to some, for Republicans because they're blocking a bill that they're also negotiating. So it's a bipartisan bill that they're blocking, which makes no sense. But when you kind of read between the lines, the reason they're doing this is because they state that we need to see the actual bill. And until the bill is finished, which some are expecting it could be finished by Monday, so they're just trying to say, hey, we know that this bill is not done yet, but hey, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, why don't you just extend it, push it back until Monday? We will vote on Monday. Because then the negotiators will have enough time to finalize the deal. Right now, according to a handful of representatives, if they don't go forward with this, so if Republicans do not go forward with this and vote to pass this bill and push it forward, this will only strengthen the Democrats' call to remove the filibuster as it is only working against them. So, what we are hearing right now, and again, this is odd, but this is the news coming out today, is one of the reasons why Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is pushing for a vote today is because he wants to see the vote fail. Because if it fails, it's going to show the American people that Republicans, well, they tried to negotiate, but they must not have been negotiating in good faith because nobody voted for it. So that's what we're hearing. And if they don't negotiate in good faith, what's the only way to get around it? Well, you do a filibuster reform. Get rid of the filibuster. Change it. Modify it. Make some adjustments. That's what Democrats are wanting to get more people on board with, because right now they say we can't pass that. We can't overturn the filibuster. We can't get rid of it because so many people are in favor of it. But if more people look like, oh, it's working against us, then they could have that support. And right now, with pretty much a year away from the midterm elections, Democrats can't afford to lose the confidence of the American people. So we'll see what happens there. One thing I can tell you is that Republicans are not going to vote for this bill today. This is something that multiple Republicans have already stated. They will not support a bill that they haven't seen. They're not going to vote on something and say, yes, this is good, when they don't know what is actually in it. So until they get the score back from the Congressional Budget Office, they're not even going to consider this, which means we are going to go in for a vote today unless Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer decides, let's scrap this. Let's push it back a few days. Let's push it back to Monday. But most don't expect that's going to happen. So as we know more, I promise I'll fill you in on that update. One thing I can tell you is I will do a video this afternoon to see if there's any new information. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. Now I want to jump into rental assistance. And I want to jump into rental assistance because we are 10 days away from the CDC eviction moratorium. Now, some states may have extended your eviction moratorium for your state. Okay? If that is the case, great. I think it is needed, even though, as a landlord, I want to make sure, I get paid, right? And this is one of the things I think every person wants. Every person wants, to be paid, treated fairly, from a landlord to the tenant. The landlord wants to get their payment. The tenant wants to be treated fairly. In a pandemic, when they're not working or they're having a very difficult time, the landlord should do whatever they can to try to keep their tenants comfortable, keep them in their property, keep them paying rent if they can, right? But here's the issue. Right now, Congress has put out about $50 billion. $50 billion. And this goes on from former President Donald Trump, back when he was president in December, when he passed his bill, which included a $600 stimulus check. Well, there was rental assistance in that bill as well. Well, between that and the rental assistance from the bill that passed on March 11th, the most recent one, which included a $1,400 stimulus check, the American Rescue Plan, well, between those two, what we know is less than 7% of the total rental assistance, the total aid, has even gone out. So over the past 8 months, less than 7% has even gone out to rental assistance. We actually know as of today that in June, $1.5 billion was released by all states combined. Well, just to give you an idea, that $1.5 billion, that is more than all the previous months combined between all states. So yes, there is less than $3 billion has gone out to rental assistance. This is low. This is so low. So what we're seeing right now, according to some experts, they say rental assistance is picking up. And this is good news. Well, when you ask the states why it takes so long, what the majority of them said is they pretty much all said the same thing. That they're working to get out the bugs and kinks. That the system was the issue. Well, we knew this. The system was going to be the issue. Every single state had their own system. Every single state has their own restrictions and requirements and their own problems. And so what we're seeing right now, we are seeing that some housing experts are more optimistic about the rental assistance coming out sooner. But the problem is that we are 10 days away from the federal CDC eviction moratorium, which means in 10 days, 11 days, if we can't get more rental assistance out, millions of people will become evicted. They will be evicted. We're going to see an eviction crisis coming very soon. And this is a huge problem. But according to the CDC, okay, and again, the CDC has a lot to do with what's going on with the eviction moratorium. They've already stated that this will be the end of it. They do not plan on extending it any longer. However, I just want to point this out. Even though they do not plan to extend it any longer, if states come forward and say, we're getting the money out, give us one more month. According to one expert, she believes that the CDC would extend it into September and maybe even end it the same week as the federal unemployment benefits end on September 6th. So we could see this. We could seriously see this. So just be aware, we could see this extended, but most don't expect it will be. But now that we're talking about the CDC, I want to get into something that a lot of people are questioning or curious about. Right now, according to the CDC, only 48.7% of the total US population has been fully vaccinated against COVID. 28%, or 91 million people, live in counties considered to have high COVID transmission rates. And that puts us well below the 80% vaccination rate that health experts have been saying for the past year we need to get to in order to slow the spread of COVID. Many health experts say that we will have a very rough few weeks, and especially leading into the end of the summer, but they all predict the same thing. Fall will be much worse if people do not become vaccinated and don't take this virus more seriously. We've been in this for a year, a little over a year. And some say people are taking this less and less serious every single day this drags on. So, we also know, according to the World Health Organization, that between now and August 8th, which is actually the end of the Olympics, 100,000 more people will die because of this virus. The World Health Organization also said that this pandemic is a test and the world is failing. And when he actually went on to say that people who think this pandemic is over are living in what he calls fool's paradise. Now, I want to bring this up regarding the CDC, regarding the 3 weeks of just rough times. What we know right now is the economy is rebounding. This is what we're getting. The economy is rebounding, but we're seeing, high inflation. We're seeing our unemployment numbers are going up. But again, we're supposed to be in a recession, right? So the problem that we're seeing right now is the numbers are going everywhere. Prices are going up, but people are making less money. That's an issue. If we look into Social Security, just to give you an idea, we're talking about Social Security. Many people cannot afford the medications that they were prescribed last year. They cannot get those. For one, because they're too expensive. The Social Security income has not gone up. 1.3%? That's ridiculous. That's so small compared to the amount of inflation we've seen over the past year. Now, this has many discussing providing more to people on Social Security. So, I want to bring this up to you, but I just want to kind of caution this, okay? Just want to give you a little bit of a warning first. Even though people are looking into providing more benefits to people on Social Security, the problem right now is they do not have that support. They don't have the support from many other, lawmakers, senior senators, right? They don't have it. What we are seeing right now is that people are pushing for infrastructure, and what Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has stated is do not muddy the waters. Even Mitch McConnell doesn't want to go and provide more because the economy is struggling. He says with this deficit that we have and we have received, this is not something we can just quickly get out of. We still need to run the country, so we still need to operate in this deficit. The problem is trying to pay it back. It's going to be extremely difficult at this time. But what we are hearing right now is, even though yes, some people want to see more for Social Security, some people want to see an additional stimulus check, some people would love to see more benefits go to the American people, whether it's through free community college, Medicare for all. What if we see, the meals for school-age children? Every single child receives free meals, right? Those are things that progressives want. I don't know if we're going to get them, but those are things that they want. What I can tell you right now is, being that so many people have kind of other priorities, I don't know if they're taking precedence over that, and that's their main priority at this point. But what we're seeing right now is, just because somebody wants, stimulus checks and Medicare and all the expansion and extending the child tax credit, that's great. But at the same time, what experts are also telling us is there's a large group of people that have absolutely nothing. They're living on, pretty much, eggs, potatoes, beans, rice. They can't afford anything else. They can't afford meat. Meat's expensive. So, what I can tell you right now is, yes, there are people fighting for the lower income, the fixed income, groups. But the problem is they're not fighting hard enough, and it's not getting the support of other lawmakers. That's the issue. So just because one person comes forward and says, you know what, we need to provide more to this group, that's great. The problem is you have to get more people on board. And that's where it's not happening. So I just want to be 100% clear on this because, yes, we're seeing this on Social Security. We're also seeing this with stimulus checks. There's a large group, almost 100 lawmakers, senators, and representatives, a lot of progressives, but they want to see $2,000 stimulus checks. They want to see monthly stimulus checks. They want to see more for the American people. The problem is, even though there's 100 people, or roughly 100 people that want this, the problem is that's not enough. That's not enough to sway the numbers and sway the House of Representatives. It's definitely not enough to sway the Senate. And so that's the issue right now, is it's not getting the support. And what I can tell you right now is, in regards to this $1.2 trillion infrastructure package, that's not even getting the support, and that's a bipartisan bill. So I just want to keep you up to date on this, because right now there's a lot of talks, there's a lot of discussions going back and forth, but nobody is coming to any agreement. Now that could be a game by Republicans. That could also be a strategy by Democrats, is to let's try to get Republicans to look bad. We've seen this before. But again, as I know more, I promise I will share more. I just wanted to leave you with that, because as of right now, the big news is, are we going to see this vote? If we see this vote, how's it going to play out? Will Republicans support it? Will even one Republican support it? Maybe, maybe not. But as I know more, I promise I'll come back on later on today and update you on all the latest news and information. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful start to your Wednesday. If you have any questions, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.